Hey guys, my name is Jian, and in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips to improve the functionality of your Sinawali for sparring or fighting. Let's get started. So my first tip is to offset the cadence, pattern, and rhythm of your Sinawali. When we first learned Sinawali, let's take for example this Heaven 6 pattern. We tend to get into that rhythm, that cadence, whether we're hitting something like a heavy bag or we're with our partner, it typically sounds something like this. Now when you fight with Sinawali, you aren't going to execute that fighting pattern in that specific cadence and rhythm. So it's important that you give yourself decision points in that pattern. As an example, we may go, and that more closely mimics these decision-making points in sparring. So perhaps you hit as an entry, and then it's actually that third strike that you're looking to do damage with. So just mimic that by doing beat patterns, offsetting your timing while you're playing with your Sinawali, even with a heavy bag. So it could be like, right? So explore those different kinds of beat patterns. That's tip number 1. Let's move on to tip number 2. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Tip number 2 is distribution of power within your Sinawali pattern. What do I mean by that? Well, when we're executing our Sinawali pattern with a heavy bag or with a partner, we typically hit with equal power with each strike. In a fight, in a match, you may choose to deliver 1, 2, or maybe even all of those strikes with power. As an example, it may be that the first part of that Sinawali sequence is an entry sequence, and we're not looking to swing hard because we may overshoot and present vulnerabilities. So it may be that I'm fighting, I enter, and I'm actually looking to load up on this backhand. So it might look like something like that. So power distribution, power selection within your Sinawali pattern is critically important. And you can add that power to any one of those strikes. In this 6 count, 1, 2, 3. I may choose to put all the power into that first strike and use my follow-ups as a kind of a defensive structure. It may look something like, right? So we're still executing our Sinawali pattern, but the first strike is one that's delivered with power, and the second and third strikes may be defensive or evasive in nature, right? So that's tip number 2, power selection and distribution within Sinawali.
I'll go boom, then we throw shots, bang!
Now here's your third and final tip for functionalizing Sinawali, and that is to use heavier sticks in training. Here I've got the cold steel polymer rattan sticks. I have here some heavier, more dense sticks from Combat Instruments, or even using some sort of a device or a contraption like this one made available by AccuStrike that adds weight to your sticks. And if you do your Sinawali with heavier sticks in training, when you transition to lighter sticks for sparring or fighting, or even if you transition in training from heavier to lighter, you should notice a marked improvement in both your speed and your power. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. Remember that Sinawali patterns aren't meant to be dead. They are meant to be alive. They are meant to be explored. Don't just continue to chase the next pattern and the next pattern and the next pattern, which is a tendency that we could all fall into. Remember, in order to really validate the functionality of your Sinawali, you have to put yourselves in conditions where it can be tested, right? So that includes sparring, whether it's light sparring, hard sparring, technical sparring, or full-on, full contact competition. Make sure you film your performances so that you can use that as a sort of laboratory to identify where your deficiencies may be. Then get back to the lab and work on those deficiencies. If you enjoy this video, if you like this presentation, if you want to see more stick or double stick material from me, please let me know in the comments below. And if you want to train some knife work for now, fundamental, tactical, strategic knife work, go to trainwithgn.com. Each module is only $15. They're highly focused and specialized. So even if you've been training Filipino martial arts for a really long time, I'm sure there's a module in there that can help you improve your journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.